Imagine waking up one night to discover you've died, and yet somehow you're still alive. Not in the same way you were before. Your heart no longer beats. Food will never satisfy you again. The sun has become your greatest enemy. And though you still breathe, your lungs no longer need air. The only thing that quiets the unbearable hunger inside of you is human blood. Welcome to Vampire the Masquerade, a game where you don't play the hero. You play the monster desperately trying not to become one. What is Vampire the Masquerade? Vampire is a gothic punk horror role playing game set in the world of darkness. You play one of the kindred. That's what vampires call themselves. Well, while mortals see an ordinary modern world, vampires wage ancient wars and feuds from the shadows. The game is less about hunting monsters and more about surviving as one. Every night is a balancing act between power, ambition, and the fading memories of your humanity. In Vampire, a common expression is, "A beast I am, lest a beast I become." What makes vampires vampires? The curse of Cain. According to kindred legend, the first vampire was Cain, the first murderer from the Bible. After killing his brother Abel, Cain was cursed with immortality and an endless hunger for blood. Whether the story is literally true in the setting is debated by the vampires themselves. Some consider it much too superstitious, others take it as gospel. What matters is that every kindred carries the same curse. Every generation of vampires descends from those who came before, passing the blood and the curse to new childer through the embrace. Becoming a vampire is not a gift. It is death, followed by an unbearable unlife. The beast and humanity. Every vampire carries an instinct called the beast. The beast is pure hunger, fear, and predatory instinct. It whispers constantly that you should feed, that you should kill, that you should satiate your desires, and above all, that you must survive. The struggle against the beast is the central conflict of Vampire. Your character must constantly choose between acting like a person or giving in to the monster within. The more humanity you lose, the easier it becomes to commit terrible acts, and the harder it becomes to remember why they were terrible in the first place. But not feeding the beast will cause it to take over, and you become a blight, a pure predatory monster, unable to reason or negotiate with itself anymore. The Masquerade. The Masquerade is the greatest law of vampire society. It is the conspiracy that keeps humanity from learning vampires exist. If mortals discover the truth, panic, hunters, governments, and religious organizations could threaten every kindred. Because no matter how powerful an individual vampire is, humanity is still the greatest power. Because of this, vampires hide behind their corporations, their politics, criminal organizations, churches that they build up for themselves and wealth. Breaking the masquerade is one of the greatest crimes a vampire can commit, and the greatest weapon a vampire possesses is their anonymity. The clans. Not all vampires are the same. In fact, if you think of a favorite vampire from fiction or from television, they have a place in the setting, except for Twilight. Not never Twilight. Every vampire belongs to a clan, a supernatural bloodline that shapes their powers, weaknesses, and culture. Think of a clan as both a family and a curse. Some examples include those who are noble rulers, beautiful manipulators, the insane rambling prophets, sewer-dwelling outcasts, rebellious anarchists, occult scholars, and the wandering predators. I will get into them later in their own individual videos, but they define vampire politics. No clan is purely good or evil, and every clan believes it understands what it means to be a vampire better than the others. The jihad in vampire politics. Most conflicts in vampire are political rather than physical. Ancient elders manipulate younger vampires like pieces on a chessboard. Every city has its own alliances, betrayals, and hidden agendas. Factions will compete for territory, influence, and survival. Princes rule cities, sheriffs will enforce the law, primogens, the head of the clans, advise or oppose the rulers. Elders will continue to pull strings from the shadows. The older a vampire becomes and the more virulent their bloodline, the stronger they are. The older a vampire becomes, the more powerful they often are, not because they are stronger, but because they know how to make others fight for them. What the stories and campaigns are usually about. Vampire is not about saving the world. It is about surviving the most demented pyramid scheme you have ever seen and satisfying one more night. Common stories and themes include solving supernatural mysteries, navigating deadly political intrigue, protecting loved ones from your curse, hunting rival kindred, fighting to keep your humanity, choosing between loyalty and ambition. Each decision has consequences. Each favor creates a debt, and every victory costs something. Vampire the Masquerade is a game about personal horror. It asks difficult questions instead of offering easy answers. How much of yourself would you sacrifice for power? How long can you pretend to be human when you no longer are? Can a monster still choose compassion? Or is the beast always destined to win? In the world of darkness, immortality is never freedom. It is a sentence. The night is eternal. The only question is what kind of vampire you'll become. I've been Ignatius. Thank you for listening, and stay safe out there.